Welcome to Fireside Giants. My name is Alex, and today I just want to give some respect to Joe Schoen, Brian Daboll, the Buffalo Bills team. The Patriots got themselves an ass whooping on Saturday afternoon. And my goodness, if Joe Schoen and that roster and Brian Daboll and Josh Allen, they put on a show for the Giants. And the Giants front office ownership looking at them saying, they just put down Bill Belichick like just at another level. They went into Buffalo and got their ass kicked. And, that's the type of toughness you want to see from your team. Buffalo is filled with athletic playmakers. Josh Allen, obviously, being an elite quarterback, I had 5 touchdown passes. He was an absolute monster. Like, the only way to describe his performance was monstrous. 308 yards, 5 touchdowns, 157.6 rating and 98.5 quarterback rating. And they still had 174 yards on the ground. Josh Allen had 6 runs for 66 yards. But it was the offensive game plan that Brian Daboll put together that really intrigued me. Really relying on Josh Allen to make all the throws. It was sub 5 degrees there, and they really trusted him to get the job done. And the development that the coaching staff has executed when it comes to Josh Allen and his capabilities is kind of what we want for the Giants and a young quarterback coming into the system. When Josh Allen came into the league, he was wildly inaccurate, not a good decision maker, and now one of the best. He has arguably one of the best arms in football, maybe better than Patrick Mahomes. And, you're looking at Josh Allen saying he's not just a quarterback, but he's one of the best rushing quarterbacks in the game as well. For a guy of his size to do what he does is tremendous. So I do want to say, when the Giants are considering candidates like Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll potentially as a head coach, you also have to imagine and consider the fact that Josh Allen is just that freaking good, and he makes everybody else around him look great. But the Giants, or rather the Bills, have done a tremendous job developing him and making him the elite quarterback that he is today. The Giants don't have a Josh Allen, right? Daniel Jones will never be Josh Allen. He can run. Yes, Daniel Jones can run. He can throw, but Josh Allen is on another freaking planet. But from a roster building perspective, holding the Patriots to 17 points. I mean, Buffalo had their backups in the fourth quarter, essentially. They held New England to 89 rushing yards, 232 pass receiving yards, 216 receiving yards total for Mac Jones. I have to say, Joe Schoen has done a tremendous job with Brandon Beane building this roster out with athletic players, playmakers, tough, hard-nosed guys. And that's what the Giants are, right? They really are a tough team historically with Michael Strahan, Justin Tuck. I want to bring that type of culture to New York, and I think that Joe Schoen does have that kind of culture ingrained in him. And I think Brian Daboll, coming from Western New York, he's a very laid-back guy, but he's a tough son of a gun as well. If the Giants want to go with a tough, physical, athletic football team, Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll will get the job done in that respect. And just the roster building from how they utilize Brian Daboll, utilize the players that Brandon Beane and Joe Schoen actually got Buffalo. Isaiah McKenzie, running back, that scat back they have over there, fast as hell, got him the ball, let him do some things. He had 3 receptions for 45 yards and 3 carries for 29 yards. Devin Singletary, who isn't a great running back by any means, 16 carries for 81 yards and 2 touchdowns. I mean, look, Stephon Diggs finished with 3 receptions for 60 yards, but he allowed, the attention that he commands allows other players to have good games. Dawson Knox, their tight end, 89 yards, 2 touchdowns. Their defense, Tremaine Edmonds, 8 total tackles, 6 solos. They finished the game with 3 sacks. Boogie Basham, he's a rookie. Epineza, rookie, second-year guy. Ed Oliver, second-year guy. Gregory Rousseau, rookie. A lot of the guys on their team are young players who are making an impact early, and that's because they have a lot of leaders on that team, a lot of guys who make plays and inspire those guys. What they just did to New England against Bill Belichick was nothing short of phenomenal. Buffalo's had their fair share of struggles this season at times, but they still finished 11-6, winning 6 games at home. They're a team that could win it all this year, straight up. And, Joe Schoen, if he's able to be a part of that type of winning culture, if they win a Super Bowl this year, get to the championship game, whatever it might be, you're looking at candidates who are going far. The only candidate from the GM pool the Giants have on the list, Hortiz from Baltimore, he's the only guy that's not, at the front office of a playoff team this year. But traditionally, the Ravens make the playoffs pretty frequently. And if not for Lamar Jackson's injury, they might have made the playoffs this year. So, when you're looking at the candidate list, Adam Peters, all these guys, Ray Carthon, there's so many great options, and they're all coming from playoff contending teams. Baltimore just missed it, like I said, but everybody else really at the top of the league right now. So the Giants finally looking to an outside perspective, trying to bring in guys who are coming from successful organizations. Now, Joe Schoen, probably one of the more experienced ones. I really like Adam Peters from the 49ers. He only has a year under his belt as the executive director of personnel. But if you want the Giants to build an offensive line, he might be the guy to get it done. That's Ryan Poles. Ryan Poles is the guy from the Kansas City Chiefs. He's helped overhaul that offensive line extremely fast in just one off season. Bringing in some really great rookies. And of course, they got Trey Smith in the 6th round, who a lot of Giants fans wanted to grab, but he had those blood clot issues, but seems to be, irrelevant at this point in time. They've done a tremendous job building up that offensive line. And then the 49ers, look at over there with Adam Peters, done an awesome job building up their offensive line. They have tremendous talent, and they have Mike McDaniel at OC helping design those play calls and really at the cutting edge of modern analytics. Really a nice tandem there. But Eric Bieniemy, Ryan Poles, another tandem. I really want to make a video, or at least hear your guys' perspective in the YouTube comments below. If you're watching, the different combinations here, which one would you prefer? Would you prefer a Ryan Poles and Eric Bieniemy? Would you prefer an Adam Peters and Mike McDaniel, or a Brian Daboll and a Joe Schoen? 3 tremendous combinations. I think the Giants will end up with one of those 3. And honestly, I don't think that they can go wrong with any of them. It really depends on the culture and how they are selling the development of a team, right? That's really the next step. How do you sell the development of a team based on culture, based on what the Giants have on the roster currently? Are they going to stick with Daniel Jones? A lot of these decisions go into, interviewing for the Giants and a long-term strategy and plan. So all together, Buffalo Bills kicked the shit out of New England on Saturday. And I have to say, definitely inspired me to say, you know what? If the Giants roll with Joe Schoen and Daboll, I would not be mad at all. They did a tremendous job. Again, Josh Allen definitely has a hand in making that team look a lot better. But I will say, that's player personnel evaluations. Of course, Shane and Brandon Beane had a say in drafting Josh Allen. The Giants passed on him, of course, for Saquon. And then you have, of course, Daboll, who's helped develop him into the quarterback he is today. So, and then maximize some of these playmakers who really, some of them late mid-round picks and veterans, just making them look so much better. And then the running backs, Devin Singletary, none of these guys first-round picks, mid-round picks for the most part. So really, really excited there for the Giants and, kind of checking out these guys and these playmakers and these coordinators and general manager candidates. It's going to be a fun couple days. I expect the Giants to make a signing or a hiring within the next week or two. Going to be exciting, guys. A lot more football left, so a lot more opportunity for us to see how these teams are competing in the playoffs and the candidates that are attached to them. But I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. A short one today for you. Just kind of reacting to that Buffalo Bills game. Just a tremendous outing for that team, and really indication of just how far they've come and really how strong it is behind the scenes and not just on the field. So that really stood out to me as well. Make sure to like and subscribe as always, my friends, and we'll catch you guys on the next Fireside Giants episode.